Hello and welcome to the DEMA Private Service Profile. This is where we take the opportunity to sit down and interview our DEMA members. I recently was invited to take a tour of our Chicago chapter's Vice President's estate that he manages. Tudor Oaks is an estate with over 160 acres of rolling pastures in Barrington Hills. A massive yet elegant stone and wrought iron gate reveals a long drive flanked on either side by giant oak trees. Loosened pastures along the fence drive are 60 to 65 horses. The horses are a special breed of Australian halflingers that roam the 12 fence pastures near a 10,000 square foot barn and arena. The road leads past the pool house and jacuzzi that is surrounded by 4 bronze life-size Indian statues. The 20,000 square foot brick Tudor Oak style house has over 15 acres of pond with a gazebo in the middle of it. Please welcome me in welcoming Dave Barrie and a sit-down interview about Tudor Oaks and how his estate manuals have helped make a difference. Dave, I'd like to introduce you and thank you for taking the time to allow us to be here at this magnificent property that you've been giving us a tour of today. One of the main reasons that you and your principal have asked DEMA to come and visit the estate that you manage is so that you could demonstrate the importance of how well a designed house manual can assist you in better serving not only the principal that you work for, but also all of the employees that you work for. How many employees do you work for or work for you here on the estate?
Well, I like to say it as there's employees here that work for the principal, but we're all a team.
Okay.
So, as in getting your hands dirty, because I'm an estate manager that does get his hands dirty quite a bit, it takes probably about 25 to 30 people on average a day to run everything in this lifestyle estate.
Super. And the manual helps you communicate with them about the goals that you guys collectively are going to achieve on a regular basis for the estate.
In process and still working on it.
Fantastic.
Yes,
super, super. Okay. Well, with that being said, before we dive into the manual and you give us a tour of those, I'd love to have you give a little bit of background about who you are, what your educational background is, what you did before you were a private service professional, and then we're also going to address how you got in the industry and also how long you've been in the industry. So with that being said, what's your educational background?
My educational background is in facilities, property management, facility management. I'm a maintenance operations manager that I really understand maintaining things to the highest standard of quality and efficiency. I started out in the trades as with my father when I was younger as a blue-collar worker, as HVAC, heating, plumbing, etc. I was doing a lot of learning from a lot of the older gentlemen that taught me on the North Shore and higher-end homes. I always have had a service industry type of personality. I'm always out to make sure I do right for people in general. It's just part of my character. And I ended up going from that into running, working for the school districts.
Okay.
And then I went into the private sector of school districts of running 200 or more on the operations maintenance side of things. And then I became a contractor both on the working for the high-end and homes and just about every field of that type.
Okay, fantastic. With all the experience that you have, and it definitely shows through here on the property and the grounds that you gave us a tour of, can you give us some of the experiences that kind of led to, give us some background on what led to you designing your own house manual and how you got from point A to the point where the manual that you're going to show tonight?
Well, and what it is it's more of understanding of the dynamics of where you work. I mean, every area is different, and not every situation that you design is going to work in every family or every entity, as we shall say. It's better to get an understanding of what it is that you work for as a unit what they like, what they don't like, what they you got to kind of think outside the box and put yourself in their shoes, even though you're not in their shoes.
Right.
And it's better to keep yourself out of their shoes, but understand what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it takes a real big team that there's no way I could do this on my own.
Mm-hmm.
No way. I mean, I have a lot of experience, but I really appreciate all the experience around me.
Sure.
That makes the whole nucleus work. So it's a better understanding of you know, which way do they like to throw parties? I mean, are they more private? Do they like to be known? I mean,
right.
What type of foods do they want? How do you take care of even the dog? I mean, everything is detailed down to the last thing.
So what kind of examples can you give that you may have encountered when you first got to the home that the manual that that you've developed has helped take that and not make it as big of a situation when it occurs?
Structure. Definitely a standard, one. Everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
All the rules are the same across the board. People know what they're supposed to do. And you know where to go to do it as if there was a fire, instead
right.
of running on emergency all the time, because in this lifestyle, everything's an emergency because everything's changing so drastically all the time.
Right.
But to make it more basic, you keep repetition with the people that you have so they understand, and then cross-train them in other areas, and you can do more with less staff to be efficient. Like here on the landscaping that we created over the last 3 years, which is phenomenal, truthfully.
Yeah, absolutely it
is. And the team that's done it with me, as you know, the company that's helped bring it in with me, and my staff, is that everybody's really stepped it up. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. There's no finger pointing when things need to get done. We all know it's got to be done. There's a way to do it. There's a process of doing it. There's a time when to do it. You know, I mean, like I said, when I first got here, people were around the house, in the house, all week.
Right.
Now there's rules that we try and leave them alone, except for unless it's an emergency, Tuesday to Thursday from 9 to 5.
Well, and I think that's something that I'd like to come back to that, because I think that's a very important point. How is it that you're able to find the time to be able to work with DEMA and provide us with the support that you do here in the Chicagoland as the Vice President?
I find that it's a way of life, and I think you need to give back to the industry and what feeds you. I mean, it's only part of your character if you do this, I think. That's just who I am, and I really respect the principal that I work for.
Right.
And his service, and the family service, and what it is. And I think it's important to find the time to learn and become more educated and give more education in the field and give back. The biggest point is to give back to people that aren't as experienced, but also get from people who are experienced. That's why I want to help change the standard and help run with DEMA and set a standard for this family, let alone for many families that are out there.
Okay. All right, great. So you feel that that's, in your point, the standard is the main reason that you feel DEMA is the most valuable part for your particular career?
Yeah, but it's also the networking that will come together of a field that, you know, I have to rely on a lot of people that help me get here. Plus, I have to rely on a lot of people that are with me that are here. But in this type of field, there hasn't been a network where people that don't have any understanding of engineering or stuff, you know, or how to iron a shirt or something like that. You don't want me to iron your shirt. You want me to build your house and run it. I mean, that's where the difference is. If we run a house like we'll say in Colorado, now with this type of networking, I know who to call out there. I know what to do. I can hook up right away with people in the field just by DEMA's website, going to meet them, realizing we're not the only ones that are having these problems. Or not problems, or what was the success rate of this, or questions that you can go to and have an answer to. And I think we're in a field that I really love. And that's what's the most important, is that I love what I do.
and it's a way of life, and I think you need to take time to feed that, because it'll feed you back in the long run.
Super.